Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to do a quick walkthrough of my late spring garden and all of my herbs that are blooming and ready for harvest. So we're just going to run through real quick and kind of talk about them a little bit. So I have my orange mint here, which I have to say, out of all of my mints, is clearly very aggressive. You can see it everywhere spreading. It is also my least favorite, unfortunately. I think it smells like spicy basil, and I just don't jive with this mint. But as you can see, it's very, very aggressive. It's definitely a hybrid of a spearmint, and it is just creeping everywhere. So people always ask, how do you keep your mints under control with so many mints? And this is how. I only want the orange mint in this area right here. All the rest of this is runners. So I am literally going to, and no, like, I'm not, mint is so hardy. Look, this will grow a whole new plant. And I will just collect it in a cup here. And then I take it over to the farm, because we would rather the mint be growing wild than all of the weeds we don't want. And I try to get as much as the roots as possible, but you're never going to get them all, because as you can see, it has these runners. And they just grow along the line, along the topsoil. And I just pull them out, all of them. This whole clump. Oh yeah. And I'll just do that to all of this. And see, there's a long runner right there. And even though this looks dead, if I put this in a bowl of water, oh yeah. Oh, I'm getting it good now. Look at that. So some of this I am taking over to the store, and in bowls I am just propagating. This right here is like a whole new plant. It's perfect. That would make several plants. Okay, so you see my bucket's already full. This is like, I never bring a big enough bucket. But I'll just do that to this whole area. I'll pull out all this mint. If I'm transplanting, then like I said, I put it in this cup and I take it over to the farm. If I'm harvesting, I just wash it off, because obviously it's got a lot of dirt on it. And then I'll put it in a bag to dry. And I do this over this whole space where I don't want the mint to be growing. Now over here I have spearmint underneath my Russian Tarragon. So this is Russian Tarragon. As you can see, it's really tall. It's kind of leggy. It'll grow like 7 feet tall. Look, it's almost as tall as my fence right now. This is French Tarragon. Doesn't grow as tall. It's more filled in, dense. And this one actually tastes good. This one is just pretty and makes good fire kindling. Don't grow tarragon from seed. This, it also sends off runners. Okay, so I do the same thing. I just come over here and I just pull it. And then I throw it away because I don't have any use for it. It's just a pretty plant. Oh, look at all of the bugs down there. It makes great homes for bugs like that. So the spearmint, I do the same thing though. I just pull it. And you can see I have a garden bed right here. So when I dug the garden bed, I dug up a whole 5-gallon bucket worth of spearmint and spearmint roots. So today I'm harvesting spearmint to make dried spearmint for soaps. So this I will just pull, wash, and set aside. I'm actually going to cut this all the way back because I don't want it to go to flower. Oh, these yellow clovers are so fun. Because when you walk past them, I don't know if you can hear it, but the seeds literally shoot out of them. They are like green compost for me. They just grow everywhere. And I'll just cut this all the way back, literally to the ground. Bam, like that. I'll cut it and I'll harvest all of this spearmint. I'm going to do the same thing with my meadow sage, because as you can see, the flowers are starting to die back. This one's actually already starting to part. And if I cut it back now, it will just make beautiful new flowers. The meadow sage, I collect the flowers to make flower oil. I don't really collect the leaves because I have Oh, look at the big bumblebee on my sage. I don't know if you can see it. On my kitchen sage, look at that bumblebee. That's a true bumblebee. Look at how pretty he is. He's humongous. Anyways, I use this one for cooking and making sage bundles. The meadow sage is just great for flowers. I definitely need to cut all the dead stuff off my Russian sage. It just does its thing. But most of these, you don't want them to go to flower before you harvest. What used to be my path. I harvest thyme as I need it. I just come out here, grab a little sprig, and take it inside. And then at the end of the season, I'll cut it all back. I could do the same thing to it. I just think it's really pretty, and I like to leave it. My oregano, as you can see, is starting to go to flower. I waited like 3 days too long, but I'm going to cut this all the way back. As you can see down here at the bottom, it's already growing new little shoots from the ground. This is a perennial. It comes back every year. It doesn't need a lot of love. It's really hardy. Even though it's not, oh, it is in the mint family. So if you didn't know, you can take any plant and you roll the leaf between your hands. And if when you do that, it's square, it's in the mint family. So being in the mint family, it just loves life and does its thing. Here I have a fancy oregano. It is so pretty. It has a way more potent flavor, but it is difficult because the leaves are like really hardy. So you have to put it in a grinder to get it to break up. It doesn't really break up in a mortar and pestle, but it is delicious. I kind of use it more like I would a bay leaf, and I pull them out of like soups or whatever I'm using after I'm done cooking, because most people don't like eating a whole leaf. Then I have 2 different mints here, and as you can see, they are growing in a plethora. So I have Mojito mint here, which has these really crisp leaves. It looks really pretty as garnish because it's just so crisp. It smells like a traditional mint. Just it's not as, like when we put it in soaps, it's not as strong as say like the spearmint or anything like that. Then I have my pineapple mint. You can see the leaves are much softer. And it smells like pineapple candy. It's delicious. And I want to get it before it flowers also. But as you can see, they kind of just compete for this path. And I'm going to come through here. I'm going to again cut it way down here and take off the whole top part. And then in a week or so, it'll look like this again, because spearmint is that much of an aggressive grower. And again, as you can see, I have garden beds right next to it. And I got the spearmint is more aggressive than the Mojito mint, but I just pull it out. Literally just yank it out of the ground. Like, look, this doesn't belong here. Bam, pull it out. And that would make another plant. Or great for soap, because that's spearmint. The spearmint is one of the most aromatic of all of the mints, and the smell stays when we put it into tinctures or into oils. It stays through the whole soap making process, which is really nice because not a lot of the herbs maintain that smell. Now there used to be a path here. It's overtaken with all this oregano. Over here I have my chives, which they're going to seed right now. So I'm about to have a ton of chive seeds. And it spreads like this one I didn't plant. I only planted this one. It does spread. I get it in my garden beds. I get it in other places. I, again, just dig it up and take it over to the farm. Borage is amazing. It comes back every year all by itself. The hail really hit my house hard. The thing I love about borage is that the flowers change color depending on if they're pollinated or not. So when they first open, they are this really pretty color, and then as they get pollinated, they turn pink. It's amazing. So that's always fun. Parsley, anyone. I didn't realize how happy the parsley would be here. I planted 1 parsley. It's now become like 5 parsleys. The bees and the pollinators absolutely love it. I obviously did not harvest it early enough, you want to harvest parsley before it starts flowering. If you clip it early, it'll make a nice little bushy green plant, and you'll have delicious parsley leaves to eat. Right now, the flowers make the leaves kind of bitter. Same thing goes with my cilantro. You see the cilantro has these pretty white flowers, and the parsley has these pretty yellow flowers. The cilantro also has flowered and is starting to go to seed. So you can start to collect them green. They are very, very potent. I ate one little green thing. It was in my mouth for this taste was in my mouth for 45 minutes, even after smoking and drinking coffee and doing all of these things that should remove the flavor from your mouth. That was so strong. You can also let them start to turn yellow and dry them, and then use them as like ground cilantro, or coriander is what the seeds are. So that's delicious, but same thing with the parsley. If you clip it early and you clip it often before it bolts and it's still little and short, like see I have some new ones sprouting up down here. If I just keep cropping them, don't mind my woodbine, it's everywhere. If I just keep cropping them, then they'll make these nice little pretty bushes that I can harvest cilantro off of and have fresh cilantro all the time. I just have a tendency to let things flower and bolt. So this is my lemon balm, which again, you cannot even see the path through here. There are 18 by 18 pavers down there. So I'm going to harvest this as well. One thing that I do to help with the harvesting process is that you can kind of see how they're all leaning in one direction. I come out here with the hose and I just hose it down really good. I clean them off, spray them down, get as much dirt and stuff off of it before I even clip it, because then I don't have to wash it as much after it's clipped, and it saves on the drying process. So my onions are flowering because I like to let things go to flower. If you want to eat your onions, crop the flowers off and it'll put all its energy into making the bulb instead of the onion flowers. You can eat the onion flowers, they're spicy but delicious. And then it will just keep populating new onions. And then I've got peppers and tons of tomatoes. I do jarring with my tomatoes, so that's really what I put in my garden. As always, oh wait, I have a new mint that I was so excited. This is banana mint. Isn't that crazy? I didn't even know it existed. So I didn't think it was going to come back. I bought 2 little plants last year, late in the season. And look, they are coming back. So these are just babies. This is their first year coming back. I think I have some sprouted right here, which is really funny to me. I'll probably leave it because I'm trying to really encourage this one to grow. So as always, if you have any questions, let me know. And I hope that your gardening is going amazing. You have to